Happy holidays. It's December 2025, and I'm going to talk about these 10 towns, not Yuba County, from Grass Valley down to Roseville. I live in the middle and I cover all these areas. I do go to Placerville. I need to be knowledgeable about these locations. When I first moved from the Bay Area, yes, it's true, I thought that we wanted to live possibly on I-50 because he is very tied to still working in the Bay Area, and we didn't want him to commute too much. You can see in my map here Placerville, and it is significantly closer than having to go up north. Maybe, maybe not. And then going down 80 to San Francisco. If you want to go to Tahoe and you're an outdoors person and you want to spend time over there, you would probably spend your time in South Lake Tahoe if you were in the Placerville I-50 area. If you were off I-80, you would most likely go to Truckee and then down around up in North Lake Tahoe. This is more for athletes, people that want to spend time outside, not into gambling, and love Donner Lake as well, which is that little blip there. We ended up on 80, and honestly, most people do. This is all Placer County, and El Dorado County is over here. And then Nevada County kind of cuts into Auburn over here. This is Lake of the Pines. A lot of people don't realize where they want to go when they live in a big city and they want that rural lifestyle. That's what I'm focusing on, these towns and suburbia. And for people selling as well. So this is for buyers and sellers in Placer County, Sierra Foothills, or Gold Country. Sacramento Valley is part of it too. This is your market breakdown of what happened this year, what's happening in each major community, and what's ahead for 2026 that I will share at the end. I want to start with the luxury acreage markets first, and that would be Meta Vista. And then I'll move down to and then Loomis, Penryn, and Newcastle. That didn't show up. There it is. And Auburn after that. And then I'll move down here into the popular suburban hubs, Rockland, Roseville, Lincoln, then back up to more land, more forest, more affordable lifestyle, which is Colfax and Grass Valley. And buyers don't really shop just one zip code. They shop lifestyle and commute time. Those that have to drive, say to Sacramento every day, that's super important for them. And then freedom. So you got to figure out what you want to give up, and that's something that we would talk about as a buyer, what you're looking for. And can you work remote? Are you retired? Are you a first-time home buyer? Meta Vista, let's start there, like I mentioned. Well, I didn't really want to do it that way. I'm going to close that. There we go. Go back to my market reports so those pop up again. And then there we go. That's what I wanted, was my green arrow. You can see Winchester Country Club is in there. That's huge. Part of Meta Vista. And I'll talk about that as well. So this whole area here, the median list price is $1.6 million. It's very luxury, high-end homes overall. Inventory is very low. Once people move there, they don't leave. So right now there's 16 homes. And the price per square foot is $382. Days on market right now have been 204, and the median days on market is 147. Luxury homes tend to take a little bit longer to sell, and that could be an advantage for buyers or not. It just depends on how well the seller and their listing agent price the home. That being said, there's been 44% reduction in prices this year. Rent over here is very high because of the homes being luxury. We're not talking about renting like an ADU, most likely the whole house, and that's around $4,000. Meta Vista is a very desirable place because, boom, you just go straight up 80 and along, and there you are in North Lake Tahoe. Ta-da! And spectacular views. If you were a seller, market to luxury buyers, they search lifestyle first. And that's exactly how I market. Buyers don't want just square footage. They want a story. Love sharing stories. We would launch cinematic lifestyle visuals, tell a story. Golf, clubhouse, it is public. court life, sunset decks. And no, not court life. Like I just immediately thought of a king and a queen. No, not that. Like tennis and pickleball. Sierra Foothill backdrops, the views. There's Lake Comey just north of beautiful golf courses nearby. Dark horses up here and Ridge is down here, super close, and Black Oak. People are moving here for those views, the golf, the trails even, and the lifestyle. And I specialize in showcasing that through strategic, emotion-driven marketing designed to grab attention and drive action. Right? So that's what they're looking for. And then when I said strategic, that is involving pricing for sure. You want to position your home in the least crowded price band to stand out and attract qualified buyers. And we'd have targeted outreach, ads, social campaigns aimed at golfers, tennis players, pickleball players, 55 plus active lifestyle groups, Bay Area and out of area luxury buyers, even Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Paso Robles, Sacramento. They all want to come up here. They want more space and more land. So I'm highlighting the lifestyle, not just features. And those golf views in Winchester, there's all around out here too, are a ton of horse properties with acreage. And we tell that story. You would get full preparation and support from me as soon as you called me and we signed a listing agreement. Boom, I'm working for you. And that could be staging photos, 3D images, a floor plan, drone work. I love to have inspections done ahead of time. If you want more information on Meta Vista, just DM me and I'll get you a personalized market breakdown and my full seller strategy. You go way beyond just a comparative market analysis. It's deeper than that. For your buyers, people that want to move up here, love you. Join me. This is luxury with room to breathe. Let's find that lifestyle that fits for you. And this is whether you're dreaming of that golf estate in Winchester or just a peaceful homestead where you can garden and have space right in Meta Vista. I'll help you search smarter and negotiate better. And this is, if I can, I'd look for sure off-market listings, talk to any realtors that have been working the area, live there, that would know of anything that comes up before it goes public. And I could maybe find you a home that others would miss. For Winchester, I could get the HOA docs for you to take a look at, the amenity breakdowns, and know this way you know what you're paying for and how to use it. Buying smart. Over 200 days on market gives you an advantage as a buyer, more room to negotiate, and you don't need to overpay. Meta Vista offers acreage, privacy, garden space, and equestrian-friendly properties close to town and trails. My honest advice, stay patient, focused on the right fit, not just the latest deal, which won't work because the inventory is too low. If you want inside scoop and you're a buyer, tell Meta Vista add list so I can send best and current market picks. Winchester Country Club was designed by Robert Trent Jones, Sr. and Jr. It's beautiful. From what I hear, haven't played there yet, but I will. The clubhouse is very elegant, has a bar, restaurant, and lots of social events. In addition to tennis and pickleball, there's bocce, pool, and fitness center, and it's gated luxury with community trails and beautiful views. I've done open houses in there, but I can't remember. Definitely got to double check on that. Meta Vista lifestyle. Just to expand a little bit more, there's open space, a lot of wooded lots, and peaceful privacy, and a tight-knit community. They even have their own community center. Been to a lot of events there with outdoor recreation, equestrian trails like Sugar Pine, and just being out in nature. And you can see just to the east of that is Applegate, Clipper Gap. There's some great trails over there too. Weimar is just north of Weimar Institute, is very close by. And next, I'm going to go straight down the hill, past Auburn, over to Newcastle, Penryn, and Loomis, right in here. This is the land of a lot of wineries, breweries, and not a lot of riding trails. There are horse facilities, and there's Folsom Lake that you can ride at. I feel like there's a little bit more in Auburn. The advantage here is you're closer to Sacramento and Roseville, but it's still rural and not far from Tahoe, so you can't beat that. All three towns are connected communities where buyers shop as one. Newcastle opened a winery in I-80 called the Cavalier. Their wine is really good and they have a great chef. At a restaurant is Italian, I think it's Sicilian. Really good food. I had the halibut there, so good. The little railroad area, and they have a produce shop. It's a cute town. They had Santa and Mrs. Claus there putting up a tree for Newcastle. The schools in all three areas are very strong. And Penryn is the Loomis Union School District right here. Excellent reputation. Newcastle, they go to Newcastle Elementary, and then both lead into the Placer Union High School District. They go to Del Oro High School. Up north is Placer High School. A little bit more about Newcastle. You can think of it as country plus convenience. It's a land of mandarins, just like Penryn. And the price range right now for inventory, median list price is just like Meta Vista. I've got $1,599,950. No new listings at all. 14 homes are active currently. Price per square foot is higher than Meta Vista. It's $450, a lot of new builds, mostly white with black trim and beautiful stone. Average days on market for Castle is significantly longer than Meta Vista. It's 270. Median days on market is 119. Price reduction is very high. So some of these sellers might be wanting to sell their homes a little bit more. Maybe they're not quite as up to date as they thought they were, because that's 57%. Fire insurance, by the way, is across the board required by California Fair Plan, and it is high in this area as well as Meta Vista. Meta Vista is significantly higher because you're closer to the forest. Sellers, people want in your area. They don't want buyers. They don't want just land. They want the lifestyle. It is a slight buyer's market because of those long days on market. Strategy matters, and inventory and prices are stable, but buyers are choosy. They can see everything, and they'll just, if you don't have the best photo on top directly, the first shot right away, they'll just skip right over it. And they're looking for space. They're looking for really good dirt so they can have their garden. I-80 access is perfect for Castle. Position your home to attract top offers with the right buyer pool. Launch with lifestyle-driven visuals, rolling hills, garden-ready soil, orchards, patios, barns, sunsets. Buyers really want to feel the emotion and all the possibilities that they can have there. The type of people I would target are Bay Area cash buyers seeking land without sacrificing convenience. These are your strongest leads. And then smart pricing. Place your home in the least crowded price band to boost attention and competition. Highlight what makes your property unique. I can drop off. I got my Epic report, which is talking about your equity, how I'm going to position your home, have a whole analysis done. I need to see it to price it right. That would help highlight what your land is like. Is it on a hill? Is it flat? Horse people need flat land. They may want irrigation. I know all about PCWA down here, as well as NID a little bit further north. Fencing, barns, solar, and then if there's not an ADU, what's the potential for that? We would go to the county. I couldn't do it for you, but as a seller, I'd ask you to do it and find out where we could put an ADU and have that ready for potential buyers. Nice long views, privacy, and you have a lot of space to breathe. Digital targeted strategy. Zillow, MLS, custom social campaigns aimed at out-of-area buyers. DM me, Newcastle Value, and I'll send you my strategy for pricing, prepping, and launching, even if you're months out. It's not too late to get ready a little early. And then if you're looking for luxury with land, this is where rural lifestyle meets location. It offers a space, charm, and real potential, especially for buyers who know how to spot value. With relatively stable pricing and longer days on market, you've got that negotiation power right now. Buyers target homes with untapped equity. Updates, who has cosmetic changes done or reimagined land that you can use could be a huge upside. Access to on and off market properties, talk to other realtors and find out who's got something coming. Horse ready parcels to garden homes to hilltop builds. Buy smart. It's a soft market. We'll use time on market and pricing trends to negotiate better deals. And for lifestyle seekers, acreage, privacy views, space for chickens, gardens, horses, or a boutique farm. So I repeat myself a bit just in case you missed what I said earlier, and really emphasize how important all these things that people are going to help you with. Soil quality. What's your GPM on your well? Are you going to do an inspection? Are you going to have it tested for any bacteria? Septic, are you going to pump it? Is it near a tree that needs to be, what do you call it, grind it down? Because a lot of these septic tanks have, I'll be in the middle of escrow and the septic company wants to grind down tree stumps that get in the way of the septic. It's better to take care of that ahead of time and have it documented, invoiced, and have the records available for your buyer. Fencing is super important to make sure that's all fixed if you have it. Do you have cross fencing? Do you need hot wire? What's the wildlife like? We'll talk about that. Topography, solar, and it goes on and on. So just DM me Newcastle list for any current listings that are available and lifestyle matches. This is a small town feel with open space, lush land, and true foothill charm. And let's see. Penryn, going there next. Love this area. There's a Valencia club. You can go to this bar. Who knew there would be a bar in Penryn right over here? And then there is Mandarin Hill with Happy Days Vineyard. So many things, great restaurants around here and over here. Penryn is $1,250,000 is the median list price right now. In December, there's only 5 homes available. And the price per square foot is $533. Days on market average is 102. Median days on market is 63, and there have been 60% price reductions, very high. The lifestyle drivers here are horses, orchards, quiet lanes, strong district, barns, dressage arenas. If you have a massive trailer, it's tighter on the roads. Think about where you want to live and how you can handle getting out in case there was a fire. I just always look at that. I think it's important. For sellers, I would highlight your outdoor living and your usable acreage. And buyers, just you would not want to pigeonhole yourself in just Penryn, Newcastle, Loomis, or gray areas as well, because you have that same high school pipeline, if anything, right there. So I was going to talk a bit more about Penryn and its vibe and the history, that small town feel, but this video will be like way over an hour if I do. I think I'll just do a separate Penryn video, so look for that down the road. It's definitely not a typical suburb, but one thing I want to point out about Penryn is there's, oh gosh, I need to be upfront about it. There's limited amenities, right? There's no town center there. It doesn't really have a bustling downtown like Loomis does, Lincoln does, Roseville does. And there's like, you're going to have to travel a little bit, and the infrastructure is a bit modest. Recently, what I wanted to share is that there's been proposed high density housing that sparked backlash because the locals felt that the roads, the schools, the fire safety services, and public transit are under equipped for that kind of growth. And the housing market cost versus density trade-off, well, with rural homes, acreage, and privacy, becomes a trade-off. And there's fewer neighbors, and that equals fewer surrounding services. Bigger properties equal more maintenance and upkeep. The rural roads, potentially longer commutes, and more work for people. And that community sentiment is very, very strong. Any development or desensification plan may face resistance. So it's good to set expectations with potential buyers, which I would do and educate you on about what they're getting. And that's a quiet rural community, not urban convenience. So this is an ongoing thing with Penryn. They've been meeting quite a bit about the affordable housing. So I could keep you up to date on that if you had found a house that you really wanted. So it could change, is my point, from what I just shared with it about Penryn. So now I'm moving on to Loomis. This is high-end country living. The median list price here is $1,382,444. And the market action index here is 37. The inventory is very tight at 34. This is a little bit bigger area than Newcastle Penryn. And it also crosses east-west of 80. So there's a lot of conveniences in this town. It's closer to Roseville, closer to Sacramento since it's down the hill a bit. And there's been 32% price reductions here. Precision pricing and a strong launch really matter with the sellers. The median rent is $3,500. Very strong schools. I have a video that I've done on what websites to look at. Since I follow fair housing rules, I'm not going to share those, but I can tell you that the schools have a great reputation. And think about that limited supply. That means your lifestyle is premium. Sellers, I would sell the dream life here, all about lifestyle, protect your price, and go from there. I mean, it's just simple as that. Buyers, that inventory, 34, how many choices do you have under key price points? Speed, the average days on market and how often good homes get multiple offers. Average days on market 112 means you can still negotiate on stale listings. And maybe they're just stale because they have a unique layout. I did see a house that had a whole office, like with cubbies built in with walls. Not a lot of people want that, but the house was spectacular. If you could just bypass that or take out those cubbies, you're good to go. I think for this area, since the competition's high and if the price is right, you must have your pre-approval ready to go, or refreshed at least, and have options for a rate buy down. Have your must list ready to go. Be ready for competition on the updated homes that have land. Message me your Loomis list if you want more on this town. Same with Penryn and Newcastle. And now I'm going to go back up the hill a bit to Auburn. And it's kind of divided a bit in South Auburn, North Auburn, and then further up, where this is about right here, the Bear River switches to Nevada County, except for over here. Well, it's still Nevada County up here, but the zip code is Auburn. So all of Lake of the Pines, and Dark Horse is Auburn. Interesting, huh? That's a whole nother video as well. So I merged both zip codes together. This is 95602. This is 95603. Right around here at Atkins is where it switches. And merged together, the average price of a home here right now is $690,000. That's literally half the price of Meta Vista and Loomis. Interesting, I think. Further north, a little bit further drive, but we're out of the fog belt. Some of us, not everybody. If you're at least 100 at 1,500 feet elevation, you can be. This year has been really unusual with fog going on for a month. Inventory, 99 homes. Price per square foot is $361. Average days on market is 127, so not as long as the other towns I've been through so far. Median days on market is 112. There's been 44% price reductions. I want to point out that this is my hometown, and I know the vibe very well. I live right up in here. And let's see. I not only do I live here, I ride the trails. I know the traffic. I kind of know the traffic everywhere because I will point out that I don't just stay home. I'm a former pharmaceutical sales rep, and I drove all day, every day. So I'm used to driving. So that's why I have 10 towns that I'm talking about today. But I'm going to expand a little bit more on Auburn, and it has Gold Rush heritage plus modern amenities. And Auburn has that deep history from the Gold Rush era, but today it blends that suburban foothill living, parks, trails, shops, and convenience. At least 7 major grocery stores are here in Placer County. They're all here in Auburn. And 7 in just our town. And then about a dozen small scale stores like Briar Patch up here in North Auburn and Sunrise Health Food Center, my favorite, because Wednesday is senior day. If you're 55 plus, you get a discount plus popcorn. See, those little things that you got to know. And then outdoor lifestyle. Oh boy, and recreation galore. I mean, a lot of people from other areas come here because of all this. There's just trails everywhere, especially hiking and mountain biking, and towards Forest Hill. Can't beat it. You have the North and Middle Forks that in the American River that come together, the confluence where people come to hang out. There's hiking, mountain biking, not much road biking, I have to say. Swimming, white water boating, and then rafting is so much fun. Kayaking, paddleboarding, fishing, camping, and my favorite, horseback riding. Even big name endurance events, trails. We are the endurance capital of the world for a reason. And no one disputed it. Did you guys know that? That's why it's a win-win, since I think that we just asked for it and we got it. So you're not really buying just a home here, you are buying access to quite a bit. So this is an outdoor athlete's mecca. It's fantastic. Plus you get that history in the small town community. You have 2 towns. You have Old Town and Downtown. We like to merge them together, but there's Central Square, that's what's right in the middle, and only 1.25 miles to walk from one end to the other. Not bad. Plus, so you get that unspoiled Sierra foothill nature and then modern convenience with all those grocery stores and lots of shops. Small town plus suburban balance too. Like where I live, it's more rural up in here, and then I can just drive down here and I'm more in suburbia. There's Deer Park over here, which is great, and then bigger, nicer homes out on the outskirts. Over here, brand new homes like the Vineyards, and then older homes up off of Bowman, and this canyon views, beautiful. They all get the views. The insurance is much higher over here, by the way, and then newer homes down here and some really big homes on the way down. This is Auburn Folsom Road. Lots of nice houses right over here. So you can walk around downtown and have that historic town energy. There's bungalows down there. There's parks around here, and that community feel. But also you have that suburban style neighborhood. Like I said, the newer builds and access to larger employment, metro areas like Sacramento, just not that far. A little bit more time on the road. For me, it's further because I'm way up here off at 49, so I have to drive all the way down and then go down 80. But if you already live down here, it's super close. Even if you lived in Colfax or Meta Vista, the Colfax is all the way up here. If you came, actually this is where, oh, I'm right over here. Yep, up next to Meta Vista. If you came straight down 80 to Roseville, boom, all the way down here, you would do that in about the same amount of time as me, even though I'm over here, just because I have to go through a lot of lights and businesses to get down. So we would have to talk about your commute and what's important to you for me to make sure you are in the right area. What else do I want to say? Oh, so yeah, I was talking about over here, Hidden Falls. There's these houses don't move, but there's 20-acre lots over here. There's a lot of horse properties that are 20-acre lots that are gated, and custom homes. And the ones over here tie right into, and even the backside of Lincoln, to Hidden Falls Regional Park. I go there about twice a week to ride my horse, and it's huge. Some of these houses are worth over $2 million or more. And then there could be down the road over here outside the gated community a little manufactured home that's affordable. You might get lucky. The variety, my point, is massive. And then up here, you do have access to way more land with larger ranches and acreage style homes. So your horses can be at home. You can have goats and sheep and chickens and ducks. No big deal. We love it. Big ponds, orchards, you name it, we have it. And there's some wineries over here too that are really good. A Spanish winery, Vina Castanello is really nice. Beautiful place with a cave. So there's some fun things to check out here. Let's see. And one thing you need to know is that the land in Auburn is a bit flatter overall than Grass Valley. I'll expand on that a little bit later. But you don't want a 20-year-old horse sliding down hills in the mud. So make sure your listing agent or your buyer agent knows about horses and what works for them and what doesn't. I've done a lot of video tours for people just to let them know. Someone will say, yes, horses can live here. And then I go and do a video and I'm like, are you nuts? No, they can't live there. It's crazy. So when I talk about Auburn, I think I am covering so many different variety of buyer types. Young professionals move here, families, retirees, outdoor lovers. Auburn just offers so much diversity. I feel like 55 plus or more up here, and then the 40 plus down south. I don't know. That's just something that I've picked up on. And so one downside of living here is lots of nearby locals come that don't live in Auburn to visit the parks and to go shopping, which is great. We want that. We need to keep our shops open. Not all the locals can keep them open, so you need people to come visit, but it just gets a little crowded. Parking really isn't an issue. It could seem tight when you're in downtown, but it's really not. You just have to drive around the block one more time, and then suddenly there's a space. It's not a big deal. And one thing I'd love to do if I just want to be really isolated and alone is when I go to Hidden Falls on my horse, start at the parking lot, and I can go way out to the edges and not see a single person. They also are expanding it. It's going to be even bigger. So that's impressive, right? Same with over here. I can go park at the Overlook and head over to No Hands Bridge and go all the way over to Cool if I want on my horse. Maybe can't really do it on a mountain bike. I don't know if it'll work because there's some trails that you can't go down on a bike, but on a horse you can. That's what you should have anyway. So focusing on the lifestyle, that's what I would be talking about mostly. And what else I want to tell you? Okay, so 95602, I would say the homes are overall older, built in the 60s and 70s. Definitely some new builds. Personally, my house was built in 1985 on an old dairy farm from the 50s, and it's mostly flat, and that's something that we really needed. And up in here, the median age is 53. There's more and more young families moving in, though, as the people in their 80s are downsizing. And people age out here, they don't leave. They stay longer than 10 years, which is your average homeowner stay in a house. And so this feels more suburban, classic town, established in energy. It's good for people wanting stable neighborhoods, more mature demographics. More trees, perhaps downsizers or folks just wanting that lower maintenance suburban living. They can come over here. And it could appeal to buyers moving from Sacramento, Foothill area suburbs, just wanting an easy transition. Home values are moderately high and many owner-occupied homes. And there's less kids in North Auburn than there are in South Auburn. For sellers, I would highlight stability, established infrastructure, mature landscaping, and a more neighborhood feel. And now South Auburn, that is down here, 95603, more growth, more flexibility, more variety, ideal for families, buyers upgrading, commuters, or those wanting foothill access plus suburban convenience. You just zip right down 80 and boom, not too far of a drive at all. The population is higher, about 28,000 versus 16,000 in North Auburn. Median list price is slightly lower than the North. This area is very popular for families, commuters. You don't have to deal with Highway 49, and those that want that foothill feeling still. And then if you live over here, you can have the most amazing view of if your house faces that way, of Folsom Lake. And some of those houses have just such great views. And if you're okay with hills, you don't have livestock, then it's great. You get a mix of terrain, but you still get access to the trails and recreation and the canyons right there and lots of parks. So there's a lot of room for customization. The downside is if you want to live near the canyon for the views and the trails, you will pay a premium price for fire insurance in addition to your homeowner insurance. And we can talk about that. Like I said, it's across the board in all these areas I'm talking about so far, but it's very high. Like Meta Vista in this particular zip code of 95603, and over here at Roby Point. Yes, much higher because you have a canyon right there. So I think I've talked a lot about the lifestyle. I'm going to just move on. I have so much information. Talked about the age of homes and what people are looking for. So sellers, if you have those views, we will capitalize on those. Lots of videos, lots of stories, lots of lifestyle in the demand for recreation. And of course, buyers, if there's longer days on market, that means you can ask for credits, get requests for repairs, and leverage the terms to your benefit. Now, that was a lot about Auburn. I'm just moving straight across west to Lincoln. Lincoln is $649,000. Median list price similar to Auburn. Inventory though is huge. It's double 9, and price per square foot is $334. Days on market 79. Median days on market 56. There's been 37 price reductions. And one thing I've noticed about Lincoln that I haven't seen in any of the other towns is there's a price increase in some homes, 13%. Thought that was interesting. Sellers, we would certainly do a digital launch strategy that protects your final price. And then, because there's a lot of people that want to move here, and this is a very popular destination. And buyers, we would just shop homes that are 30, 60 days on market for negotiation wins. If you have flexibility and you're okay with historic town buyers to new home shoppers, from retirees to families, as your agent, I would tailor your narrative depending on your buyer profile, just like all the other towns if you wanted to live here. So Lincoln Crossing could be on your mind because as a beautiful community center, lots of ways to have your family integrated with everyone, making more friends. It's very social. We could do that. Or you might want to live in Turkey Creek on the outskirts. That's 55 plus area, but there's some homes around there that you could live in. This is part of Sacramento metropolitan area. It's just 10 miles north of Roseville. But the growth is rapid. It grew 282% between 2000 and 2010, making it the fastest growing city over 10,000 people in the United States. And Lincoln, like for sellers, it gives you a lot of angles to play with. That suburban growth, the rural foothill edges, the strong active adult component. Its downtown is historic. Very cute. They have a wine tasting event down there, all kinds of stuff. Great little square. And there's heritage that goes back to the 18 railroad town roots, giving the city character beyond the cookie cutter suburbia, even though you could feel that way on the outskirts over here and whatnot. That's actually more downtown over here and around here. Yes. And there's lots of golf clubs, by the way. I feel like there's a lot of balance with major employment centers, city amenities close to Sacramento and Roseville, but you still can have more space and live in a new development if you want. One thing that's a caveat for Lincoln is Highway 65. I don't even want to talk about it, really. Kevin Kiley's working on it. He's promised to expand it. We'll see how that goes. They just built a ton of houses right off of it. Over here, let's see, where am I going? Jessup University, Thunder Valley. There's so many cool things to do. This is a very congested, busy place. A lot of homes. That's more Roseville. I'm going to break it down just a little bit, okay? Suburban versus that rural feel and what each bucket looks like. Suburban, new development, back over here. These areas tend to feature the newer homes like Sorrento, very new, planned communities, amenities like golf, walking, biking trails, community centers. These are all paved trails, by the way. You're not like in the forest in the woods off a canyon. Sun City alone has over 6,800 single family homes and 80 condos. That's a lot. And they range quite a bit. I've only noticed 2 bedroom, 2 sale right now. There's like 4. And the layouts, they have 3 to 4 bedrooms as well. But what's selling, I think people that are maybe going to assisted living or they need a bigger house are the 2 bedroom, 2 baths. But this variety is very attractive to retirees. You can sell those quickly. And downsizers. This is also around there, is great for first-time home buyers and small families. The community design is amenity heavy. Trails, parks, golf course, community recreation. People even drive around on their golf carts up and down they have a zone for just golf carts in some of these neighborhoods. And they have really easy access to retail, shopping, and modern infrastructure, making them a safe bet for people migrating from the suburbs or cities and want convenience and community. So why would buyers love this? Low maintenance, community amenities, predictable quality, social, like Lincoln Crossing, lots of socializing. Yes, community opportunities, especially for empty nesters and retirees. Sellers would still value this because your home holds value. Demand for 55 plus buyers is still very consistent, and that newer home angle combined with amenities sells very well. Now, if you're on the rural part, on the outskirts, like Virginia over here, parts of Lincoln that still maintain that foothill rural edge living, mixing agricultural history, open land, larger lots, and relative separation from the denser suburban zones. And plus, you could take 3 off in Virginia and take the back roads. If you're heading north, like up to Tahoe, go that way instead of down 65 and over to 80. There's all these great little back roads that are more fun to drive. And if you want that more country feel, then that's perfect for a buyer that wants more space. The whole city is average of approximately 24 square miles, which gives room for both urban style density and rural style spacing. That's why you have that balance. And then some of the buyers, they just want that blend of accessibility and privacy. Easy enough still to commute down to Sacramento and Roseville via Highway 65. You just slow down in pockets and then it perks right back up. So just feel like you're trading in nature for having to sit on the highway, or you don't have that and you're closer. It's up to you. What else do I want to tell you? Oh, move-in ready homes will sell faster, for sure. When you've updated, you've done your maintenance, it's dialed in, they get strong attention in the first week. So your strategy is exposing your home correctly with amazing photographs, lifestyle videos, drone, targeted social ads, and retargeting the 55 plus buyer pools, and your timing, your terms, manage your offer windows, seek rent back. If your buyer's not ready and maybe you can't move out yet, just give them some options. Flexible close to match your next step. Okay, I feel like I talked a lot about Sun City, so I'm going to skip that. And I also have a video all about Lincoln. I'm going to move over to Rockland here, which is just a little right on the border. So over here, Rockland is the Loomis School District here. And here it is not. It's a whole different, the Rockland School District. Whitney Ranch, Whitney Oaks, beautiful homes bordering with Loomis too, really nice. What sells in Rockland? Oh, first I got to talk about pricing. Numbers. The average list price in Rockland is $57,000. Median price of new listings is $840,000. Inventory is 128. That's big. Days on market 99. Median days on market 63. There's been 38% reduction in price. Rockland has had a 2% increase in homes, and the rent here is around $3,000. Slight seller's advantage right now there. So for sellers, what sells in Rockland? That would be having an updated kitchen, updated yard, single story, like Stanford Ranch area, Whitney Ranch. People that move in don't want to have to do stairs for a primary bedroom, ensuite bathroom. They like that on the first floor. Homes near top schools and parks, cul-de-sacs, usable RV boat parking. So like schools again over here. Still great schools in this area as well. So not knocking that at all. Huge price bands. Call out the 700 starter move ups versus the 1 million plus newer Whitney luxury. So you can see where your home competes. I would call that out so you can get an idea of what we should price your home as. And then what you care about possibly is having a rent back for new build timing and repair credits versus pre-inspection, the rate buy down, incentives to widen the buyer pool. Didn't mean to do that. Back to Rockland. So buyers, micro areas. Do you like Stanford Ranch right over here? That's more established schools, more established parks. Whitney Oaks, Whitney Ranch is more newer builds. Got clubhouses, community events. There is always something going on. Lots of young moms over there. Rockland Unified, that's what I meant to say. They draw across from most neighborhoods in proximity to Roseville retail, and Highway 65, I-80 for commuters is very easy. There's a very strong family demand here and very fast resale cycles. Lifestyle hooks that I would talk about for you as a seller: Quarry Park Adventures, super fun. Johnson Springview Sports Complex. Golf, Whitney Oaks, we access to Folsom Lake right down the road. And daily life drives are just really pretty, especially over here in the outskirts. Sellers, again, the buyers, they want to choose the schools, they want single story living and lifestyle. We can price in the least crowded band, lead with pro video, 3D, paid reach, run a 5 to 7 day launch to push both price and terms, and the buyers get fully underwritten, play fast on week one standouts, and negotiate credits or buy downs on stale listings. Upgrades are huge for you as a buyer. So I didn't mention this for Lincoln, but mention Lincoln or Rockland if you want the list of homes that I can provide for you. And of course, I need your price range, your budget. What is it? Because I don't want to show you $1 million houses if your max is 800, for example. That would get you upset. Now on to Roseville. Median price is $769,000. It's kind of known for shopping, healthcare, and convenience. Kaiser's here, Sutter's here. So the big Sutter Hospital. Inventory: 286 homes, 78 days on market, 56 for median days on market. There have been 41% price reductions here, and rent is a little less, $2,845. It's really low stress suburban living, but everything is close by. So for sellers, it's a strong seller's market. If it heats up, prices are likely to resume an upward climb, and I think with the rate drop recently, that will happen. Price to spark day one traffic, and there's benefits for sellers. High demand from the Bay Area buyers. We have a lot of physicians that don't want a long drive to the hospital, so they need to live close, especially if they're on call a lot. They don't want to be living out in the boonies of Lincoln. They might need to live in Roseville instead. So there's a quality of life upgrade from tech jobs that are still nearby. Lifestyle marketing is very easy. Beautiful parks, there's great restaurants, trail systems give people a strong emotional pull. Low property tax rates, there's a high perceived value there, and a big selling point for retirees and remote workers. There's no PG&E in Roseville. It has its own electric company. That's huge for some people, especially if someone has a bad taste in their mouth from PG, which there's a few. There's a few people. Job growth equals stable home values, and Roseville's strong economy keeps demand rising. One reason why people don't leave is there's so many fun breweries and wineries nearby, wine bars, chef-owned restaurants. Top Golf is here. movie theaters, the studio grill where you can go watch a movie and have dinner. There's kid-friendly everything, a huge water park right on the other side here in East Roseville, and what do you call it, a splash pad, lots of recreation programs, endless shopping, everyday convenience. There's Galleria Mall, there is the fountains, here's the Galleria, the fountains across the street. Big Box Bliss. There's even a restaurant that serves all gluten-free almond flour sandwiches. So good. And muffins and cupcakes. It's an evil place, but I love it. Target's right there. Costco, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Home Goods. All the serotonin fixes that you need. And then Aventis, besides Kaiser and Sutter, is there as well. So it's 3 major hospital systems within minutes of each other. And there's a doctor's office on every corner, practically, it seems like. I spent a lot of time driving around in Roseville when I was a pharmaceutical rep. They're all right there. Great schools too. Roseville City plus Dry Creek plus Eureka plus Roseville Joint Union. They're all highly rated and competitive. And again, look at the school websites to confirm that. Lower taxes versus the Bay Area. I did point that out. You get the Placer County perks, diverse neighborhoods and home styles, luxury. Golf communities, urban condos, plenty of condos for you, family neighborhoods, and yes, a few horse properties and homes with land. I have seen some horse properties over here, really nice. And what borders this area? Citrus Heights. So you're getting into the Sacramento area. East versus west. So here's east, a little bit more, way more established. There's downtown, and then west over here. East has mature neighborhoods, big trees, character. It's closer to Sutter, Roseville, Mercy San Juan. There's golf, Sierra View. Meadow Park is here, the big regional park, and lots of trails. Higher price points. You pay a little bit more money. And it's also a very short commute to Granite Bay and Folsom Lake. People that are upsizers, medical professionals, luxury buyers, family seeking top school zones, I would target them. Convenience plus prestige plus natural beauty. West Roseville, okay, that's very different. It's very new. It's growing. It's buzzing. A lot of people. New construction. It's everywhere. Lenore, Taylor, Morrison, JMC, they're all there. It's more affordable, at least for California. Amazing schools still. And it's family-centric amenities, large parks, sports fields, and new commercial centers. And top over there. It's a quicker drive to Sun City. That's where 55 plus is, and that area is booming. Here you go, right here. I know some young people in their 40s that live in West Park. And if you live on the edges, you still have, that's like next to Antelope, you have that nice feel of being out in the country. But you're in Roseville. So that's it for that town. Now I'm going to go shrink this. Head on up over to the last 2 towns, Colfax, which is where you hit the snow line where I-80 will shut down and chains will be required. And downtown is super cute. It's very, very community focused in Colfax. But let me talk about the numbers. Median list price is more affordable, like I mentioned. That's the lowest price point I've mentioned so far. Price per square foot is less than $300. It's at 7. Inventory currently is 31. Days on market is a bit longer too, 116 days. Median days on market is 105. Rent is still high though. It's about $2,500 for a home. It's a slight seller's advantage. Homes sales continue to outstrip supply, and the market action index has been moving up higher for several weeks. You can see there's a Starbucks there too. Sellers, I would stage you for outdoor living. That's where all the value is. I mean, it's beautiful forest up here. If I were representing a Colfax seller, I would package the story to make buyers lean in. This is your foothill home base, small town charm, historic downtown, quiet lifestyle, very tight-knit community. High school is incredible. In fact, they have an amazing music community. The singers, a choir. You love to listen to them every year at Christmas. but you still have that modern access. Amtrak train comes here. You can get to take a trip to Reno. It'll take you all day, but it'll be fun. Commuter transit. So, but like I said, you can zip right down I-80 and get to Roseville very quickly because look how close it is to the freeway. There's a brand new neighborhood over here called Sierra Oaks, all solar, Firewise, brand new homes, and boom, you can just head right down the hill. Really nice houses, and some of them they're sold, but then they get sold again. So you can always try to find you one in there if that's what you like. You are not sacrificing adventure at all because you have mountains, hiking, river country. Tahoe access is much closer, perfect for outdoorsy, active buyers, young families, or folks just wanting nature with convenience. You get more house up here for less money compared to living closer to the metro areas. Down the hill that I just showed you, still benefit from access to bigger job markets or commuting via transit or highway. It's a lifestyle, really. History, community, natural beauty, generational home vibe. Again, people don't leave. The narrative plays to buyers looking for balance, like Lincoln, that escape, but you're still connected, just in a different way. It just take you a little bit longer to get to the shopping, whereas Lincoln, you're right there. In Roseville, buyers target homes that sat through some weather cycles. What else makes it a standout for you is that you'd have easy access to the mountains, trails, and river country. Sits right at the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. We call it the gateway to the High Sierra. Outdoor lovers get serious value. Trails like Stevens Trail, right up here, Windy Point Trail, and others offer hiking, trail running, and history along the former routes used in gold rush mining days. I have to say, as a horse owner, I don't go over there much because it's a bit steeper, and I have a 24-year-old horse. I tend to be down more in Auburn for riding my horse. And then the town, since it's just off of 80, it's a very quick jump into the Sierras toward mountain lake country, and it's great for weekend escapes, Tahoe trips, or just spontaneous nature weekends. The small town charm that meets history and affordable-ish living according to California standards. I just love the restored train depot. It's super cute, and the old buildings and that vintage town vibe of Main Street. It's really not just tourist decor there. The population's very small, only 2,000 people. Like I said, very tight-knit, lower density, more breathing room than a city-oriented suburb. Compared to many other urban areas of California, it's just so much more reasonable. I think it's great for first-time home buyers or someone starting a small family. Outdoors, pretty much covered that. Winter and snow adjacent escapes because you're so close to the Sierras is great, but then you can just head right down to the river for paddling, mountain biking. Some people like, oh, isn't Colfax just too remote? Not really, because it's right off of 80 and there's Amtrak and the commuter routes are easy. So it's surprisingly accessible, I should say, for a mountain foothill town. You get the best of both worlds here, easy highway, rail connector, plus peaceful rural adjacent living. Okay, so the amenities are very modest. You get a charming historic downtown, basic eateries and local businesses, very small town schooling, but you're close enough to neighboring towns like Auburn for amenities. So that's a trade-off that draws in many. Low stress living without the hustle. So if you compare to Auburn, there isn't much going on downtown, but it's still really cute. So some people ask, is this just a weekend getaway place or can it be a real permanent home place? Definitely permanent home. While outdoor recreation brings a lot of people up there for fun on the weekends, they're there for that lifestyle, nature, quiet, community. It's perfect for families, remote workers, artists, retirees, anyone just wanting that slower paced life. In fact, I sold a home in Sierra Oaks to an 80-year-old woman, and she bought a huge house. Left Rockland because she wanted the slower paced lifestyle, and she didn't want a HOA. So there you go. It appeals to so many people. There's more and more interest in remote living, so there's a strong appeal for that. It's going to tick the box for many, many buyers. Grass Valley. Moving on. Last one. just north of Auburn. This is a part, Alta Sierra is like kind of like a town within Grass Valley. It's just a whole another neighborhood. It has a airport, has a golf course, but I'm going to focus more here. I will say that over here towards Penn Valley is a little bit flatter with roads, more spacious, less trees, and over here is more trees, more wooded. Here's predominantly the downtown Grass Valley area. So just pull it up like this. Numbers 599,000, similar to Colfax. 78 days inventory. Price per square foot, again, is less than $300 per foot at 137 days on market. Median days is 98. 30 price reductions here. Acreage lifestyle, above all, is what draws people into Grass Valley overall. If you're a seller, I would share all the trail maps, drone, and the beauty of Grass Valley and what's going on downtown. Main Street is, they took the cars off Main Street, blocked it off, and now you walk it, and super popular. Really good food too. Great restaurants. If you are a foodie, it's a great place to be because you've got Nevada City with really good restaurants too. Sierra Harvest, I had to point that out. It's a great, I guess, a corporation community service that really educates people on eating well and helping farmers, mainly helping farmers. If you're a buyer here, most of these homes have a well and a septic system, and we need to talk about that. You will pay in the country for more inspections. Same with Auburn in the outskirts, Lincoln to Loomis, Penryn, Newcastle. You could have well septic that you'd have to deal with, and I can help you with that. I have that and know what should be done. The closer Grass Valley 95945 zip code, $635,000, 81 homes on inventory. Rent is less, $1,813. Slight seller's advantage here. The market started cooling. Prices have been flat though for several weeks. We're still in a seller's zone, and we'd watch for a change in the market action index. And if it resumes its climb, then prices will likely follow suit. This is where people can walk around a lot. Walkability plus accessibility equal resilient demand. And then sellers, I would highlight your location perks if you're right in this area. And buyers, I would, if you're able to fix things up and have some money left over, maybe aging interiors, if it's still livable and you can handle that, that could be an equity upside. This has like historic downtown charm. Empire Mine is a place where I ride my horse a lot right over here. It's nice and flat for him. A lot of hikers, not many bikers here because it's a small little park, but it's a great park to visit. It's the oldest, deepest, richest hard rock gold mine. And even though it's small, it's 856 acres with over 14 miles of trails. You'd have to cross over E3. You'd ride more trails over there and get to see the backside of some homes, really cool places to check out. It produced 5.8 million ounces of gold and still has historic buildings around there, the Bourne Cottage, formal gardens that are beautiful to photograph, and miles of forested backcountry. So for buyers, if you're on your lunch break here, you can literally walk or ride through 150 plus years of gold rush history. If you're a runner, hiker, or equestrian, Empire Mine's like your backyard gym. And for sellers, I would definitely do lifestyle videos of that trail corridor and feature that, and have some walking in the morning and then having wine downtown. I put that front and center in your listing description in your video. Historic downtown Mill Street, mentioned that. Downtown Grass Valley centers on Mill Street. It's very pedestrian friendly promenade. All the buildings are preserved 1850s buildings, wine, brew spots, boutiques, and restaurants, cute little bookstore. If you look at Grass Valley, and I do go to Nevada City too, but I thought 10 was enough, right? Here's Nevada City. They're very close together. They're one of California's 14 official cultural districts with tons of events. Here right now, I'm going to hopefully go this Sunday, is the Cornish Christmas. They have Thursday night markets, car shows, tasting events, and more. They have a lot going on, both of these, as well as Auburn. So buyers that want that Hallmark movie downtown, walkable shops, festivals, wine tasting, you're good to go. It checks every box. The sellers, for you, if you're close to downtown, I definitely would market your home as Park Once Living Park, and you don't have to drive anymore. Brunch, galleries, music, and events all within minutes. And they have a super cool movie theater. Onyx, love it. That grabs lifestyle driven buyers from the Bay and Sacramento who don't want to be stuck in a car. Back to Sierra Harvest, I think their main thing is just education and connecting Western Nevada County families to fresh, local, seasonal food, doing farm to school programs, farm tours, and community events. It's all sustainable local food economy. If you're a foodie, I would push that too, whether you're a buyer or a seller, but mostly buyers. I would push it hard. Gardening, wellness people. It's not just farm to table marketing, it's built into the schools and the local farms through Sierra Harvest. So if you dream about chickens, raised beds, eating what grows around you, Grass Valley is the place to be. It supports that lifestyle. Back to sellers, if you have gardens, fruit trees, space or chickens or a hobby farm, they will be photographed and they will have lifestyle videos about them. So I'm not just selling a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, I'm selling this lifestyle. Grow it, cook it, share it. And that could really resonate hard with relocation buyers, especially if they're from San Francisco area. Another pillar, a lot of pillars for this area, horses and equestrian lifestyle. It has multiple boarding and training facilities. Blue Fountain Farm has boarding, lessons, clinics in the Sierra Foothills. Oak Tree Stables, 70 acres with arenas, round pens. La Vida Buena Ranch near Highway 49 markets itself as ideal year-round riding just below the snow line. And then, of course, there's Empire Mine. If you have a mini farm property, horse property, then I would market to a regional audience, Auburn, Roseville, Bay Area, who want to step straight into the equestrian ecosystem instead of starting from scratch. These are Auburn people that don't have a ranch, but maybe they want one. There's no official labels for East versus West and Alta Sierra Airport, but I would talk about it for sure. Wolf and Bar Meadows. I said Wolf here is more ranchy, meadowy, but so is over here too. It just depends. Rolling, open spots, oak woodlands, meadows, small ranches, mini farms. That's what you'll see. And lower elevation compared to the higher, there's the forested east side, like Alta Sierra, more sun, a bit less snow and ice, lower fire insurance at lower elevation. And then you have easier access to Highway 49 into Auburn and hobby, like farm acreage areas. So who loves this area? Commuters who split life between the Foothills and Roseville, Sacramento. Horse people, acreage buyers who want pasture barns, outbuildings, good trailer access. Folks who want the country-ish but still reasonable drive times. They don't want to live way out in, what was I going to say, Downeyville, that's Ville, really far. I would lean into your usable land if you had it. If you had sun exposure, easier winter access, your commute is not too bad. Highlight barns, shops, the parking for the RVs and horse trailers, the lakes that are just north of you. Your buyers, just a reminder, would be first-time entry buyers because it's more affordable. Move up family buyers that want that lifestyle stacking. And then equestrian, rural, luxury. And finally, retirees. That's the biggest one. Downsizers. They want less chaos, more connection. You get that culture still, music, wine tasting, and the Christmas, local food movement that makes healthy aging easier. The housing forecast for 2026. I got this information from Jeff Zucker. He's a principal economist with Windermere Real Estate, but he's located in Washington. This is national that I'm going to share with you. Sales will rise a little, More listings plus the lower rates equal a slightly improved movement, just slightly, sadly. 2, prices will stay mostly flat. Inventory pressure is up. Seller restraint is holding prices. A lot of these people that live here are very healthy, so they can age out and they have a lower mortgage. So that's why there's some restraint there. Inventory returns to pre-2020 norms. Shadow inventory enters the arena. Days on market will increase. Homeownership dips. Single-family rentals will fill that lifestyle gap as people cannot afford to buy a home. Economy avoids recession. That's the 5th one. Slower growth, but still growing. I really like that. We're avoiding a recession. 6, mortgage rates dip just a bit. Below 6.25% most of the year, but don't wait for unicorns. I don't think it's a good idea to wait because we still have a rise in pricing of homes overall. Locally, gradual improvement, but not a dramatic change. Sellers, you can leverage their with marketing sophistication. Buyers, patience equal power, especially 45 plus days on market opportunities. I mentioned before, I go beyond now comparable market analysis with my Epic report, and I can explain that, but that's going to take a while, so I'm going to skip it. There you have it. Here's their 10 towns: Grass Valley, Colfax, Monte Vista, Auburn, Castle, Penrith, Loomis, Lincoln, Rockland, Roseville.